Hello and welcome to the Overdue review. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Darksiders. But before we actually start, we've got a special guest. So, without further ado, here's War. Welcome to the show, War. I'm so glad you could join us today.
What is this? Where are my brothers?
Your brothers? I have no idea what you're talking about.
You didn't answer my question, old one.
Hey, let's just try to stay on track here.
I was summoned.
Actually, no, you're the one who called me and said, hey, I'd like to be on the show.
To hell with your claims. The seals were broken.
Seals? I have no idea what you're talking about. A lot of people are speculating that for some reason you were the one who actually started the whole Armageddon on Earth. What are your thoughts on that?
I fought powerless against the demons, and still you accuse me.
I'm not accusing you of anything.
When I ruled, heaven and hell were already at war.
Okay, bummer. Heaven and hell were already at war. Understandably a bad thing. So we understand there's heaven and then there's hell. What faction are you aligned with?
I serve only the council. Only the balance. As the horsemen always have. Where are my brothers?
Jeez, okay.
You didn't answer my question.
Okay, this interview obviously isn't going anywhere.
Where are my brothers?
Do you have any final thoughts on the subject?
Where are my brothers?
Alright, it's always fun to have a special guest in the show, but we didn't really glean very much information about the game from War, which is kind of unfortunate because he's the main character. So let's go ahead and fix that now with the review. Hunted by heaven and pursued by hell, Darksiders tells a fantastic story about how something as simple as Armageddon can still be screwed up. There are a few key elements that make up Darksiders, and when they're combined together, they create a really unique gaming experience. When it comes to adventure games, there's only one thing that really comes to mind that ties everything together. The combat in Darksiders is one of the elements that really pushes it over the top. With every swing of your sword, an orange wave of energy emanates from the blade. There's an elegant combo system going on behind the scenes in this game. Between pressing A to do an aerial attack, B to do an execution move, and X to do slashes with your sword, and then combining those in different ways creates different combinations. With enough experience, you can combine huge combos that create devastating amounts of damage. All the while, you're in complete control of War, which gives the combat a seriously tactile feel. Ooh, disgusting. The question is, where's War gonna go to upgrade his abilities? Begrudgingly, he has to consult with Vulgrim. He's a soul-hungry demon that's also full of secrets. I mean, you literally pump the souls into his mouth. Bloop, 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 bloop.
Old Vulgrim's got something new for you.
Vulgrim sells a wide variety of combo improvements, weapon upgrades, and ability enhancements. All of which cost souls, which you get from vanquishing enemies and opening chests. Needless to say, a fully kitted out War can cause some serious damage. I mean, come on, this fallen angel doesn't stand a chance. The question is, when War's not fighting minions, what does he do? That's right, boss fight. Boss fights are one of the quintessential ingredients to a successful platform, RPG, adventure puzzle game, and this one gets it right. Every boss has a specific weakness that if you find it, you can take advantage of. This lends a really cool puzzle feature to boss battles. The bosses in Darksiders don't have gigantic HP pools, which makes it really fun to fight these guys. Bullet sponges suck. And oh yeah, you notice that flaming steed you're riding? That's Ruin. Don't get me wrong, I love Ocarina of Time, and all the Zelda games. But Epona? Sorry, you got nothing on this guy. Which brings me to my next point. How do you get around in these huge levels? Well, Darksiders gives you the ability to use Ruin to run from one end of the map to the other. But there's a much better way of getting around if you have a long slog ahead of you. Vulgrim has one more trick up his sleeve, serpent holes. They connect from one end of the map to the other. This is as close in Darksiders as you'll ever get to a loading screen, with a few exceptions. Oh, what's that? That's awesome? Yeah, I agree. Developers should be doing this more often. WTF. Beam me up, Scotty. Watch this transition. Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. There's one last thing I want to touch on before we wrap this up. There's an on-rail freaking shooter section that's straight out of Panzer Dragoon, and built just as well. It's almost as if the developers didn't realize they had such a great game on their hands, so they kept putting in more bits of awesome into it. And boy am I glad they did in this case. This part of the game really came as a surprise, and created a really cool transition between two parts in a level. In a genre that's crowded by some very good titles, Darksiders stands tall among its competitors. It's become the quintessential adventure game in my personal collection, and still holds its own when compared to others. If you haven't yet, I would strongly encourage you to pick this game up. It's a rare thing for me when I complete a game feeling refreshed and ready for more, and this game truly delivers. Fatality! So that's it for this look back on Darksiders. What's your favorite adventure game of all time? Leave it in the comments below. The next and final episode of the Overdue review series is Transformers: War for Cybertron. It's going to be a good one. We'll see you next time.